Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send him beating him at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
It's always a big
I would have guaranteed that AJ would be the one that wants to dump it on Sirianni.
Let's see.
And Devontae, and either way.
Uh-oh. Good move there.
Oh.
Great maneuver.
Hello, okie doke.
The best shower Nick Sirianni will ever have.
Welcome to the Philly Podcast, brought to you by the Broken Bell Network. This week, the boys discuss the comeback of the franchise history. Florida's gonna get a whole lot hotter this weekend with the battle of undefeateds and NFC supremacy heading to Tampa Bay. Now, here's your hosts, Chris and Eric.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Philly Podcast. I'm Eric Perugini. Chris is doing some family stuff tonight. Keith is here sitting in. I think he's going to be popping in and out. He's got stuff to handle in the background. But tonight we will be discussing the Eagles' epic comeback. You know, that come from behind victory from what was an ugly, and I mean ugly, first half of the game to a completely different second half with an epic ending. So, I mean, Keith, man, how are you?
Living the dream, Eric. It's so funny. It's kind of like tonight's stats with the Phillies. If you look at the splits of the game, or just even the stats of Sunday's game, it's like, all right, it's not that bad, right? It doesn't seem like it was one-sided, but if you look at the splits, it's ridiculous. Well, here's a fun fact that we got for tonight. Tonight, the Phillies are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And you're like, okay, that's not that great. The score's 11-1.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they just won. They just clinched a first round bye that just went down. If you're tuning into us live, but that's what we got. The Phillies win. They do have a first round bye. They do have the second seed. Magic number achieved. So that's pretty nice. That's a nice feeling. Second year in a row.
Yeah, second year in a row. I mean, I love the fact that they did it at home. You know, they got to do it at home in front of the home crowd. So yeah, it's always good, and it gives them a nice little boost of confidence going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and look, you still have things to play for. You got Schwarbs looking for a club home run record. They set a club home run record tonight with 8 home runs in one game. Franchise record right there. It's, so Red October it's so funny. Like, I think you, me, and Chris had this conversation one time. We said it's kind of funny, like football in Philadelphia, it doesn't really heat up until after the World Series if the Phillies are in it. So, doesn't it still kind of feel like we're doing some, preseason games, and now we're heading to sunny Florida, and it's going to be very warm. It's a weird feeling because we are now, going into the 4th game of the season, and it's kind of a big one. So, I don't know, man. This is a weird town to be a sports fan when you have, these two teams at the ideal time, and they are just doing it for you.
Well, I mean, that's because we're so used to the love-hate relationship between our sports franchises. Like, how many years did we go in, like, exile where we knew we weren't in it, and there was nothing really to look forward to except for just hanging out with your friends at the game?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember me and my friends would get all excited getting on the train, going down to the vet, buying the cheapest seats you could get, and by the 5th inning, we were sitting down on the first level because nobody was there, and now the Eagles are reigning champions. The Phillies have been giving us great baseball for the past 4 years.
Yeah, they're knocking, right? So they're clearly knocking. A lot of people are saying this has got to be their year, or it's but I think we now finally have a team that is very resemblance of a 2008 run where you have the sand that fills in your big rocks and your players like Bader and just doing all this really cool stuff. So it all feels really like it's a well-oiled machine. I'm always worried about bullpen. I mean, how can you not be?
Always. Always. Yeah, I mean, it's basically you go out, you get the best closer in baseball, and it's just, can you get there? Can you get to him? Basically, once your starter comes out, you're like, oh man, are they going to get to him? And most of the time he's rock solid as a closer, but those couple times that he's blown a save, we were sitting back like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
So
Here's a sentence I didn't think I was going to utter this week. Jordan Davis is faster than Kyle Schwarber.
Was it just under 19 miles an hour he ran?
Yeah, like 18.6 miles per hour on that return. So I guess we've just got to get into this, man. The comeback and franchise history, agree or disagree? Are we overrating it? Obviously, it was a hell of a comeback. Do you think it? The question I think that's been buzzing with some of the old heads I've been talking to is, well, it's not better than Miracle in the Meadowlands.
It's pretty damn close, man. I mean, you're talking they all they had to do was miss the field goal, or like what happened, they blocked it. And who would have thought there'd be 2 in a row that they would block, and then Davis goes rumbling, stumbling, fumbling all the way down the field. But yeah, man, I had a feeling like this is literally a close to the Miracle of the Meadowlands type deal.
So we'll get into the not 1 but 2 blocked, and that's obviously like a crazy story within itself, that you have 2 blocked field goals. Now, I think Jordan Davis kind of said, we planned that. I think for sure the second one was 100% planned, only through the reasoning that the first one happened. He's like, oh, dude, I can do that. I'm going to do that. And then he did it again because he realized I can do it.
Yeah, well, right before they hiked the football for the second attempt, they TV during the presentation, the show, you see him turn his head and lean over right behind Jalen Carter, and he says something, and you see Carter turn his head and nod. And I remember I looked at my wife and I was like, man, I wonder what they're talking about right now. I said, that's the kind of stuff that is awesome. And then boom, the play happens, and we saw what happened from there. And I thought, Jesus Christ, did he call his shot? Did he pull a Babe Ruth and call his shot?
He did. That's what happened here. He's like, watch this. I figured this out. This is what I'm going to do. And he said it to him, and then he went and did it. And that is just where the first time is allowed to be like oops, I didn't know I could do that. And the second time is, oh, I know I can do that, and now I'm going to do it. It's kind of like the tush push, but it's a one-man show, if you would. Yeah. Let's talk about the other big storyline. 26 unanswered points is what really sealed the deal. I'm just going to ask you, at what point in the game were you sitting there and going, okay, this is our first loss. It's not against a bad team. We clearly just didn't play. Where did that happen for you, Eric? Because it happened to everybody. We all knew that at some point we were going to say, this feels like our first loss. We're going 2-1.
When they hit halftime, I was like, okay, this team is just not clicking today. I was like, they're just not. James Greeley, you're right up there with the comeback versus the Giants in 2010. Oh yeah, the Miracle too, when Deshaun Jackson on the punt return. Yeah, that was a fun one too, man. That was that was a great one. But yeah, no, for this past game, it was going into halftime. I literally was like, okay, they're not clicking. This is just it. And in my head, I was seeing all the comments on social media, and I was like, here we go. I was like, this is not going to be a fun week leading up to the show. And then the second half started. So, look at that, Fuzzy checking in. 1 in 13,000 chance of that getting blocked twice, and wants to win the game. Yeah, honest to God. I mean, the touchdown was just the icing on the cake. But, man, Carter and Davis on the field goal block could be a secret weapon. Well, it's not a secret no more.
Yeah, and it's almost like there's doing this like this push thing, right? Like it's like I said, it's like their own like little Jordan Davis is kind of using him and stiff arming down on his shoulder to get up there higher, and he's literally using him to get more vertical. And that was the second time. You can just go through the film and see him do this. That was as clear as day as how he got up that high. But Chris Fuzz brings us up. The long snapper literally blocking no one. Right. There were
number 47.
I think they caught on to a few things from the previous and said, all right, well, if these guys don't even know what their coverage is, let's take advantage of that. I don't think this is going to be, the Eagles are now going to run all over everyone's field goal attempts or extra point. I just don't. I just think that they figured it out this week, and there was a flaw in the Rams armor, and they exploited it. I don't think we should. It's amazing to see. We all loved it. However, let's not. I don't think Jordan Davis is, and I'm hoping I'm going to eat my words. I'm hoping Jordan Davis has several more blocked field goals, but let's not assume this is about to be the norm, right?
Yeah, no. That is literally one of the toughest plays to try and block. The fact that they did it twice in the same game, back to back, and I believe it happened a total of 6 times throughout the day around the league. It's a very tough play. So I wouldn't expect it to be the norm, but I would expect it to be on everyone's mind now. Like, they know that they have the beef up front to manhandle guys, like from the tush push to like the kickoff, not kickoffs, the field goal attempts. Like, they know
they're not great. They're not that great on return coverage yet. No. They're kind of like torpedoing their bodies a little bit as opposed to trying to do a wrap up. I wish that wasn't happening.
But I'll say this though, what happened in this past game with those 2 back-to-back blocks, that's going to be a complete game changer for the opposing kicker when they're lining up, because you don't know if they're going to be able to get through the line or not. So that's it's kind of like playing like a mind F with the kickers.
The intimidation factor now is just going to be unreal. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are literally going to be yelling, I'm coming for you at this. I got this. There's no way you're getting past me. They are going to yell that at dudes, and it does get into their head. I mean, whether they don't think that they're going to get injured, but they just think, oh my God, what if this dude does block me? And they shank it a little lower, or they, whatever it might be, that just, so there is definitely Brandon Graham. Come on, the master of trash talk. Like, it works. It definitely works, especially here in Philly. We love that attitude. Jalen Carter has to be a little careful when it comes down to that. The man's on thin ice.
Yeah, he still has a lot of maturing to do. Especially when he just got goated in the first game of the year with the whole spitting controversy with Dak Prescott. He's just got to get himself in check and make sure that he's not falling for that kind of stuff and not getting, I want to say, overzealous with everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gene?
And like I said, it's I think it's the combo of, and this is what James brought up. It's the combo of them two. And how well they are playing off of each other. And this is what I was talking about, our special teams, that we have some dropped kickoffs. I think I counted 3 on there. So that was that was obviously problematic. We can point to the splits and show you really how problematic the game was. They held the Eagles to 33 yards in the first half. So not a good look. If you look at the scoreboard after the first quarter, you're like, all right, 10-7, no big whoop. Then at the end of the half, we're at 19-7. And now we're at 26-7, and we're feeling oh no-y. And then let's just talk about it. Who was your standout player on the three drives that basically 3 touchdown drives. Talk to me. Who's your hero for Sunday?
This past one you said, I'm going with AJ Brown because they started getting him more involved, and the more he became involved, the more he was becoming a threat to that outside. So they had to start paying more attention to him.
Well, AJ kept the drive alive twice.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. I mean,
2 big 3rd and 10 conversions for AJ, looking just great.
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about where in the first 2 games combined he had like 3 catches. So and then he explodes in the second half with this, and like he said after the game, you gotta let your killers kill. So it's and I loved it. Like, he was the key, and you see what happens. You start throwing the ball to him, people start getting open. Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith. This is what happens when you get him more involved. Like, he commands that kind of coverage, and he's such a presence like that at wide out.
Yeah, I will throw some. I don't know how much shade I can throw at our rush block right now. Saquon had 18 carries for 46 yards. He, shut down kind of again. And that is, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's our offensive line or what here, or Kevin Patul. I don't want to blame anyone on that, because I think teams are intentionally really stacking the box to contain Saquon from these kinds of things. So this is a very intentional move. So it always begs me to argue, why did it take us, 3/4 of a game to figure out, well, if they're stacking the box, why don't we just exploit these 1-to-1 matchups that are happening like they started doing? AJ just looking like a dog that he is. And so he probably could have had 200 yards plus, had, they figured it out a little bit sooner.
Yeah, you're right. Like, and I think we'd spoken about this before in previous shows between you, me, and Chris, where we knew it was going to be difficult this year for Saquon to basically like perform how he did last year. With that said, he's not going to do that again. Historically, it's never happened, and there's always a drop in production. But everyone now is afraid of Saquon Barkley. They're afraid of this run game now. Like, last year, they couldn't stop it. This year, it's just, like you said, stack the box and make him beat you. And in turn, that's now going to start making Jalen beat you over the top. So,
yeah. The game, and I want to bring this guy into this conversation about Lane. He had a neck stinger. He looked like he was really in pain. And to the point where he was dazed. He looked like he was kind of in la la land. He is in limited practice. He is questionable, but I do believe he is good to go for this week.
Yeah,
but he definitely looked like he was. Did you see it in his eyes? He almost looked like I thought he was about to go into concussion protocol, but it was just like I think the pain that he had just gotten to the neck is really what had gotten him.
Yeah, it's not often you see him with like that kind of an expression on his face. So you know whatever he was going through was really painful, and like
Yeah.
he's a big old country boy. He doesn't, they don't really feel pain. So for that to happen, I knew something was wrong, but I'm not I won't be surprised if he's out there playing this week. I think he'll be there.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So for me, standouts, just obviously, I'm going to co-sign the AJ thing, but I think I'm going to wrap around to this. And maybe I'm harping on it. Like, at what point do you still say that Jalen isn't elite, right? He played the game that was being presented to him from his offensive coordinator. I mean, it wasn't working, but he was definitely playing it. Calling the audibles that he was allowed to call. He was still, an audible freak in the first half. Like, that didn't change. But at some point, you started using him as the weapon, as opposed to using him as just kind of like a setup piece. So, I think that was a standout for me. Just his awareness, his field awareness, him getting absolutely leveled was disgusting. And I can't believe that, that wasn't on him. That was definitely on his O-line giving up. I think 2 guys gave up on their coverages.
Yep. 2 guys.
Yeah. So that's, clearly going to be a questionable, I hope he had the courageous conversation. Like, guys, what are you doing? What are we doing at this point?
Yeah. That one, they almost got him killed on that one. He took such a hit. But yeah, no, like your standout, I really don't know, like what more Jalen Hurts has to do to be considered. I mean, I'm just going to say top 10. I'm just going to say top 10. I don't even care about the top 5 stuff at this point anymore, because he's beaten the guys that are considered in the top 5. He's beaten them. It's all there is. He's beaten them, and he's beaten the one who is like this generation's version of Tom Brady. He's beaten him in the Super Bowl. Played him twice in the Super Bowl. I don't care what anyone else says about, where he stands in what ranking order. They're 19-1 in their last 20 games. That's unheard of. Exactly. Like, what more do these people want? I mean, I swear, like, and you and I have talked about it before. I really think people aren't going to put him on that list of the elite guys unless he's slinging the ball 40 times, getting 400 yards with like 4 touchdowns. I really do. And It's disrespectful to him because that's not his style.
And I hate to say this, I'm not trying to play this out. I'm not trying to make this a big deal. I personally think it was my cat. Jesus Christ. It came at a really crappy, but I do think this boils down to, is it because he's a black quarterback? I mean, I hate to think that, there is this disrespect coming into because of that, especially in this, like, is he being judged on that? Like, what, you can't put him in a commercial or something, you think? I think he'd be fine in a commercial. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, look, you have on that proverbial list, 2 of the guys they're black quarterbacks, with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, who both are their own kind of quarterback. Like, Lamar Jackson is a flat out burner with a cannon. He can flat out throw the ball. He's just never gotten the job completely done. Patrick Mahomes, we've seen what he can do. Like, for Christ's sake, his dad was an Major League Baseball player. We've seen him throw the ball like underhand and backwards and all kinds of stuff. I honestly think that the hate for Jalen Hurts is just the fact that he plays for Philadelphia and people don't like Philadelphia. I really do.
That's terrible. That's a terrible take.
It is.
It's got to be, because the quality of the product shouldn't reflect on what you think of the franchise or whatever it may be. And that's really, I don't know. Like, it's not like we've been like a top dog contender. This is a team that's been built. It has obviously gone through adjustment, adversity, things like that. That's even worse. Like for me,
It's worse.
It's not worse because to me, at least the racism thing makes sense because people are taught to hate from a young age, right? That's a learned thing. So okay, I get it.
Mhm.
But to just because of the city or the attitude, like I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know. I don't. Maybe I get it. But are we the Mets? Are the Eagles the Mets of the NFL?
No, they're not the Mets of the NFL.
Okay, I didn't think
Mets,
so.
No.
Okay,
I do. I think it's just got to do with the whole stigma of the city. I mean, dude, I work with two Giants fans, a Redskins fan, and a Steelers fan. They all, and I mean every day, talking football. They bring up throwing snowballs at Santa. I'm like, guys, that happened before as a country we landed on the friggin' moon. Like enough. Like I wasn't born, you weren't born. Why do you care? I said, you guys sound like Cowboys fans that haven't seen their team win a Super Bowl. I said, but you know the facts. I was like,
yeah.
God.
There's a whole story behind that even that doesn't even jive with what it was. But, it turned into like a whole urban legend of this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I think Jalen does rub the media world the wrong way. And this is why. Because he says things that actually it's the truth. And here's the truth, right? The truth is this. He speaks what he's thinking, and you don't love that because you think he's saying something else. So, for instance, when he says things like, you don't know what you don't know, is a very direct statement saying, I see your opinion, and you have that opinion. I have more information. You're not going to get it, but I'm okay with you having that viewpoint, and I'm not going to help you clarify it because, frankly, it's none of your goddamn business. Or if it was your business, you would know and you wouldn't be saying those things. And that directness from him, I think, it rubs the ire of the media world, and they hate him for it. Is that maybe what we're sensing? It's just that he's not, all I do is win, or all I want to do is win. That's all. That's the stat I'm looking at. Like, I think they want him to say more to maybe pull something out of him, but I think that's who he is. I think he means what he's saying.
I agree with you on that. He absolutely means what he's saying, and I think what is not infuriating to the media, I think what just like you said, they want to pull it out of him. They just want more emotion, and he is very, very much Stonewall. Like he doesn't laugh, he doesn't smile. They ask a question, and he's like, "Well, we just went out there, we had to execute, and we did." That's exactly how it comes across. And they're like, "All right, what more are you going to give us?" And he's like, "I'm not going to give you nothing else. Thank you. Goodbye."
I'm just here so I don't get fined. It is a more eloquent way of saying I am just here so I don't get fined. It is the ultimate Marshawn, rebuttal, but I do think he means that. It's very basic to him. Like if we did well, that means we executed what we said we were going to do. We made sure we had it. And then he'll say if the plays just weren't there, and he'll even give credit to other. So the way he talks in the press conference is he will obviously give you the reasoning why that is what the outcome of the game was. And as you said, 19-1 in the last 20 games, he doesn't really have to apologize for much.
No, the record speaks for itself. No matter if it's what the quote unquote an ugly victory, it's still the team is embracing that. Like, I don't care how we won. We won. We're 3-0. Yeah, they just don't care. They have that attitude, And it goes with the attitude that they're not the defending champs. The way they looked at it was last season is over. And it's like, even though they were the last team to win it, they're trying to win it again. So I love it. I love the attitude this team has taken. They clearly buy into Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, like with what they both say and the game planning. I mean, you don't hear A.J. Brown complaining. I mean, yeah, he's going to sit there and, yeah, he has said, yeah, let your killers kill. But he's also going out there going, I'll get mine, because he knows he will.
Right. And for 15 minutes of work, he has himself 6 catches, 109 yards, a touchdown. Like, at what point does he have to explain himself other than just get the ball to him in the best possible way you can? And it does speak to the Rams fall off, in the second half. Do you call this a Eagles victory or a Rams defeat?
Oh, it's definitely a combo of both. I think the Eagles came out, they adjusted, they had a new game plan, and it was like a completely new ball game for them, and the Rams couldn't adjust to it. They just couldn't adjust. So they were kind of like, wait, where the hell was this team from the beginning?
Yeah.
And by that point for them, even though they were winning coming out of the half, it was like starting the game over again, because the Eagles just came out punching and kicking, and they basically just came out like Rocky, man. They were like down and out, and they just started throwing those haymakers, and they started connecting.
It was just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it made for a very good you're like, you were sitting there, it made for a good watch, and you had the hope that the rally was starting. You're like, okay, this is where this team isn't terrible. This is okay. They're going to make it. It's good. They're going to make it closer. It's not going to look like the blowout that it was where they held us to 33 yards. So we might close the gap on this, but we were still talking loss. And then, at some point you're just like, ooh, so good. So good. This is happening. And then it happened.
Well, I mean, and quite honestly, the only time in that second half that I got nervous was when they failed the 2-point conversion attempt. I went, oh, so that's going to hurt. I said that could say something, that could be a problem later on down the road. But then we had a Jordan Davis wall. So I literally. And you know what? Tyler's correct. He says, like, they yell at Sirianni for saying too much and made it Hurts for not saying enough. He's like, grow up. That is such a Chris line. Grow up. Belichick made a 30-year career saying 30 words. Yeah, he's exactly right. Tyler's exactly right. Belichick never spoke. Never spoke.
No. And again, why the pass? And I'm not looking to stir anything up. It just seems like there's just, why the pass? Now, I'll even admit Nick's a weird guy. He knows he's a weird guy. That's fine. But he's, what he still is? He's a Super Bowl winning coach. So I'm not. This is what winners do. So we're 3-0. We are now moving ourselves into this matchup for week 4 that I think has got Chris isn't on the show. Don't ignore me. I'm not ignoring you, buddy. But this has been Chris's fear for maybe, I think we've kind of said it for years now. We are facing Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. The heat factor is real on that field.
Yeah, he was not thrilled.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know, man. It's
about this. This is right. The battle of the undefeateds.
Yes, it is. It's definitely a game that I'm a little nervous about, because it's Oh yeah, real feel is 103. Exactly. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be hot for that game down there, and that's all. That seems to be the issue every single time we play them. And I swear the NFL does it on purpose. I swear they do it on purpose. They throw them down there early in the season because of the sweltering heat. But I don't know. I'm not. I mean, Baker Mayfield has turned his career around in Tampa Bay. He's really found the spot that fits him well. They've always had a good wide receiver core. Their running back. I mean, who would have thought Bucky Irving, a guy with the name Bucky Irving, is like the stud running back? But no, they're a good team. They're a real good team, and I expect them to be a playoff team. So this is going to be a real interesting matchup this week coming up. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited for it. I always love watching them play the Bucs. So this is going to be good. I mean, again, back-to-back weeks where they're going against undefeateds. So, I mean, I know it's early, but you just beat the Rams, who are undefeated. Now you're going up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay may well be their biggest threat. So, I mean, it very well may be.
Yeah, some of the things that, Mikey Evans probably out for a couple more weeks, I guess, at this point. I don't even think he's even slated to come back. So you got Mike Evans, that's, he's dealing with a hamstring at this point. We also have, Nolan Smith, who was put on injured reserve IR today. So that removes a key edge rusher, slash slidable linebacker for us. I don't know if I'd call him the key edge rusher, but he is obviously in position that is key. So we got to worry about pass rush now and in some of those coverage angles that he shores up. We do have some of the things I'm looking at that they're most interesting is our cornerbacks versus their remaining wide receivers. They are the less top end receiving threats. So I think we can expose those weaker matchups with that core being hurt. But we also have some, I think issues at cornerback that we haven't quite exactly figured out yet either.
No, we haven't. There's some. They do have some issues going on with cornerback, which sooner or later it's going to like catch up to the Eagles. I know they're trying everything they can. So, and another guy that I don't know if you saw or not, but Chris Godwin for Tampa Bay is going to try and go on Sunday. Like he's been out because he had I think it was an ACL or
ACL. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect him to be an actual threat because it's going to be his first game action, but he's still a player.
Yeah. And Tampa Bay just brought in Desmond Watson.
Yep.
Chunkiest guy you can find to stop a play like the tush push. And so, it's Tampa Bay is very savvy. I think a lot of what they have done has been to plan against playing a team like the Eagles over the last 2 years. They have really gone rush block heavy, which is obviously just a smart way to go. I'm not saying that they figured us all out. That who is that? It's Ibuka, right?
Yes.
They have.
Ibuka,
So they're
yes.
probably going to need him to have a huge game in what would be key matchups. But I think if we're smart and we knew what worked for us on Sunday for 15 to 20 minutes, and you have those weak corner matchups, you just make them look silly all day because they are very shorthanded at the corners and at wide receiver right now.
That they are. I still think they may give our secondary trouble. They're really. Yeah, but he's a big boy, man. I mean, look, like you said, they're probably best suited to try and stop them when that tush push play, and especially bringing that dude in. All he has to do is lay down.
Yeah,
he's freaking huge. Wasn't he the guy that he was like so overweight that they put him on? He's on their practice squad. Yeah, like dude, he was walking at practice. He's doing everything. He's walking.
He's a big motherfucker, dude. I think he was walking with like his feet out, his puppies just hanging out, right? I don't even think he had his cleats on.
So they told him you're not getting on the field.
Yeah.
No, they told him you're not getting on the field. He was walking around barefoot. He had the sweat towel and he's just walking around barefoot trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was
excuse me.
Some of the things that I would love to see tightened up that the Eagles kind of can have issues with. They just got bombarded with penalties, really. And I think they had 50 yards in penalties. And one of them came from, I think one of them was a taunting call from Carter. Like, I think he's on thin ice at this point. I don't think there's going to be any type of I think it's going to be Nick going, hey, yeah, we talked about this. You chill out, bro. And he's going to go, yeah, my bad. The Eagles got a break on Sunday with the taunting call where he was flexing with his bicep. That was bullshit. He was not flexing on him. The guy just stood up, was looking forward when he did that. So there was, I think that was a BS call. I'll take it, but it was a BS call.
Absolutely. It absolutely was a BS call. Jalen Carter definitely was.
Jalen Carter was 100% taunting.
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were cracking down on the taunting this year, but I mean, they're just going overboard. I mean, I think I read that the Eagles have been the most fined team so far due to taunting, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
I mean, we had one person. Well, hold on. Like in the league's defense here, one guy spit on another guy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I mean,
no, I get that.
This is true. We did make Chris Jones cry. That was a great comment where Chris Jones was jawing. You didn't even have 100 yards. Yes, he did. 101.
He did.
Yeah, he did have 100 yards, but more importantly, he had the W, Chris Jones. I hope you're still sad about that. Well, how do you think they reestablish Saquon in this game, or can they do that, considering that's one of Tampa Bay's biggest strengths?
I mean, that gives me all the reasoning in the world to think that Saquon's going to find a way to break off a couple long runs and get some good 15, 20-yard runs, because everyone knows that Tampa Bay is set up to stop the run. Like their defensive line is a big defensive line, and they're quick, they're athletic. But this is the game where I think that he's going to actually not going to be a breakout game, but he's going to start getting on track. He's had 3 weeks to where, okay, everybody's stacking the box on me. Now it's time to get shifty and go side to side instead of up the middle. So I really think he's going to have a breakout performance this week for his first let's just say quality start of the year. So I'm not that worried about it, but yeah, they do have to find ways, because there's going to be other teams that are better at run protection than Tampa Bay, and you wouldn't think they will be. It happens every year. You have one team that's great at one thing, and then they'll get torched in that specific thing that they're known for. Like if you have great pass defense, you're going to see a slot receiver have 140 yards and a score. You know what I mean? So it's it happens every year. There's always some kind of story that happens in the NFL that goes against the narrative.
Yeah. Do we want to touch the the CJ GJ thing. I've been kind of debating even bringing this up. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, it's cool. It's cool to bring up because I mean, it's like he does have a history with the team. I mean, the dude, the dude literally just won a Super Bowl with them. But I mean, it still comes down to me. It's what Vic Fangio said when he was asked about it after they traded him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm okay with it," and that was all he said about it. So that tells me that he had an issue with him. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen, Tyler. Sooner or later, he's going to have like one of those explosive runs. He's going to have one of those big games. Yeah, I mean, literally, everyone thought that he was going to run for like 200 yards against the Rams because he literally torched them last year in 2 games. So
I don't know about this, Ty.
They got him.
No, I don't know about this one. Third time's not the charm. There is a reason he clearly does not. This is the comment right here. This is it. He's too wild. He's too unpredictable. He definitely disrupts a locker room. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that some of the locker room drama that unfolded 2 years ago may have had something to do with comments that CJ Gardner-Johnson made at one point.
I could believe that.
And I think
believe that.
Yeah. And so I think that is something, while they do recognize his talent, unlike AJ Brown, who, while he gets upset and he gets, he may get miffed. I don't think he may have been riled up as much if people weren't stoking some coals. And it's nice to remind AJ Brown, you have a Super Bowl. He wasn't here, but I think it was something that happened previously before, and there was comments that were made. That's what I'm referring to, Chris. That they were there's things that he had started previously. There are just things that I think for a locker room you don't need to introduce, and for whatever reason, he does not need to return to Philadelphia. I think there are definitely game plans to adjust that corner position, to build talent in that position. I don't think we want to deal with the drama that might go with it. How can he not stay? What do you think he says? I'm being now. So now I'm being for real, Eric. Like I know we're doing a podcast, but what do you think you have to say in a locker room or on the practice field or during a game or whenever? Maybe it's a group text you did. What do you think was the point that they said, "All right, we're releasing you, man"?
Oh, man. I mean, you're talking 3 games into a season and they had enough of you already. Like, how? I have no idea. I mean, unless he's like doing something short of talking about the owner's daughter, like, I don't know. I mean, he has to be saying some wild AF stuff. Yeah.
But what? And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to do like a bit. I'm being what do you, I don't know. I don't think he's talking about the owner's daughter. He's probably being outspoken about whatever play call is happening. But do you think they went up to him and said, so here we go. So he's trashing his teammates, right? But is he doing that privately? Is he doing it about other teammates behind their backs? I'm not quite sure what bro, you should have had that. What's wrong with you? I'm not sure if he's coming at him in that sense, or if he's just a bad fit for the locker room. And I'm not sure in what way that once again, a team says goodbye. They literally said goodbye to this guy.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that he's just so opinionated and just basically he's probably challenging the coach, probably challenging the coaching staffs, the defensive coordinator. I mean, he's probably just trying to undermine everybody. probably telling them that what they're doing is completely wrong. You know what I mean? So Ross Tucker did the Texans game and said CJGJ blew assignments and was playing the defense that his head coach wanted him to play.
Okay. Yeah, so he's an opinionated dude. Is that what I'm getting from him? If he's and do they feel like he's the the rub isn't worth the the whatever
Probably.
at this point? I guess so. But again, he has now moved on from several teams over a very short amount of time. I think that reminds me of like that old saying, like they say 1 out of 3 people are assholes. If you look to the left and the person's all right, and you look to the right and that person's pretty cool, guess who the asshole is? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So in this case, I think Chauncey just might need to kind of have like one of those "is it me" moments, and that just takes time and growth, maturity, and the want to do it, because you have talent, man. Like it's unquestionable. But if you're not a team player in a team sport, you're going to have a bad time.
Absolutely. I mean, and if what he was saying was so bad, I mean, he could have talked himself out of the league for the year. I mean, people may not want to pick him up.
I think he's free.
Look at his age. He'll be free to go. He'll definitely be free. But I know there was a lot of talk today that I heard on the radio where people are actually questioning, can the Eagles actually pick him up? Because there was something about if you don't play 4 games for your new team, like after a trade, that like the trade, not that the trade gets reversed, but you can't go back to your old team. It was something weird. But then someone else came on the radio and they're like, no, that's an old rule, and they can absolutely, once he clears everything, they can sign him if they want, which I doubt they will. I don't think Vic wants that in the locker room.
Now I'm almost certain Fangio kind of went at one point. Yeah. He didn't fight to keep him from all reports. And I think once again, Fangio has already moved on from that and said, this is what we've built into the scheme, and this is how we're gonna run it. And
plus I want Makuba to play.
Yeah.
I want Makuba to play.
He had a hell of a game.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he had that 75-yard return. So, or the pick in the end zone. So,
Yep.
I mean, let him play. Let him play. He had that great preseason game, which was who would have thought that kind of play would carry over? I mean, you hope it does, and it did. So far he's been an early contributor, and let him go. Don't bring a cancer into the locker room. Let the young man cook.
Yeah, let's do the keys to an Eagles victory. And what you think is what they're going to need, and we'll go back and forth, and then we'll give our final predictions on the scores. How's this sound?
Sounds good to me, man. For me, the key is they really have to shore up that backfield on defense. The cornerbacks and the safeties, they have to shore that up. I'm not worried about the offense at all. We last year they were a second half team, and they showed it again last week. So they really need to get everything. They need to get everything under control on defense. With that secondary. That's the only thing that scares me. It's like the Phillies bullpen. Just get me to Duran and I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get me that 2-minute warning with a lead and hold it.
Yeah, and I think there's something to say about what you mentioned. Just dominate those trenches, right? Not just the both sides of the line of scrimmage here, right? Like you could force Tampa into some really uncomfortable spots because you can make them look one-dimensional with, like you said, Godwin's probably limited. Evans, he's out. right? So make them throw and generate like these pressure turnovers that we saw kind of glimpses of over the first 3 weeks, that they can definitely put the pressure on. But if you're going to lean on the run and establish Barkley, you got to start with your screens and your play actions that open up that defense, because that is a fat, big defense right there. So I think those three things, if you kind of, you control the line, you on both sides, obviously it's going to get you really far, but you can make Tampa really uncomfortable because of how hurt they are right now.
Oh yeah. You can definitely exploit their injuries and everything like that. So it's something that they should look into. I definitely need to see a better game from Saquon. Like, he's got it at some point. He's got to get rolling, and I think this is honestly, I think this is the perfect game for it, because nobody's expecting it. Like, everyone's expecting it coming out of the gate, that this guy's going to run for 200 yards all over Dallas. This is what he's going to do, and it didn't happen. It's going to come, and I think now we're far enough into the season that preseason's over. You're in full speed now. This is what quarter of the season's gone. So, I mean, I think now this is where, like that quick already, like that freaking quick. It goes to show like how fast the season can go.
Yeah.
I do. I need to see Saquon start getting the ball moving. He's got to start moving on the ground, because I think there's going to come a point in time where teams are going to try and force Jalen to throw the ball, which I'm not worried about that. But at the same time, I don't want to just rely on his arm. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many weapons. I don't want to rely on just his arm. I don't want teams to force him to try and beat them, because, I mean, basically he still has anyway for like 19 out of his last 20. And actually, the one game that they lost, it was the game that he left in like the first quarter, that he left the game, that he got hurt.
Yeah, there is going to be some, questions here. Do you have do you have a final score? Do you have a best guess prediction and what you think?
I want to say it's going to be like 24-17. I don't think it's going to be like a very high scoring game. Like, I think it's going to be your typical score.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is going to be a fight. These two teams play each other hard every single time they play, and it's all like, it's one of those games where you can tell they're walking off the field and they're in pain, because they literally put it all out there. So
well, the defense definitely has come strong and through. I got I'm not too far off from you. I got 28-17. Go Birds. 28-17. If we're talking like a tighter game, I could see it being like a 24-20. But yeah, best prediction is where I'm going to stay at 28-17. This question, great question. How worried are you about the interior O-line? You got Dickerson and Jurgens. They haven't looked healthy.
Yeah, no, they really haven't. Especially Dickerson. That dude, he's hopping around on one leg out there, and it's. I give him credit. I give him a lot of credit. He's still playing at a pretty good level. He's at 80%. He's still better than half of the tackles that are out there, the interior linemen. So, I mean, I'm worried that he's working on, he's so nicked up already because it's a long season. So I'm worried about that. Jurgens, I think it's just, he'll come around. He'll come around. He does. He's off to a slow start. I think by the end of the year, come playoff time, he's going to be back to normal.
I think it's fair. We were very fortunate last year to not be injury prone, and have the effects of that. So I'm hoping, and that this is just rust still, and it's still approached, like I said, it's weird in Philly. the first quarter of the season, as you mentioned, and third or whatever we're at right now. First quarter, that sounds fair, little just under, but the first quarter of the season almost coming to a close, or closing in on it. Yeah, it still feels like preseason because we've got some really exciting baseball in this town. So the players are not immune to that. I'm sure they're playing every week, they're going out every week, but they're caught up in it too. They know what's going on around them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's like, how many starters played in the preseason anyway? So it's what you expect. There's a little bit of rust, and about week 3, week 4 is when they start hitting their stride. So, and like I said, this is the exact week that I expect to see Saquon Barkley get back on track. I think Juergens will get back on track, and then, I mean, even though he did score a touchdown in the last game, I think we're going to start seeing some better play out of Dallas Goedert. So it's like he's getting there. He missed a game already. He was dinged up. So I mean, it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fight. This game, this is going to be a real fight.
Yeah, I'm already sweating thinking about it, to be honest with you. Not like sweating like whether we're losing. The Birds are winning. Go Birds. But
Go Birds.
Yeah, I do that all day at work. I just go around and go Birds. I just get it back from everybody. But it's the Heat is a factor there. I will not. That might be their greatest enemy. The Heat and Baker. Baker can just pull miracles out of his ass. He just has late drives that they're always making highlights, and you're like, damn, Baker is an awesome player. And he is, right? So because of that, he's super pass efficient. Like I can't take that away from him. He is just a monster with accuracy and depth. And he manages the pressure very well for a very young quarterback. So, I do think it will come down to how the quarterbacks manage turnovers in this game, and that will be the real deciding factor. I think you're going to see points on turnovers be the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one. It's going to be a tough defensive battle. I'm excited. I can see a few fumble recoveries. I can see a couple, maybe 2 INTs in the game. I don't know. I got a feeling that we're going to see an INT from Coop. I have a feeling for that. We're going to continue to see some lockdown coverage by Mitchell.
I love it. I love it. Keep talking to me like that. Ooh, so dirty.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game, but I see a victory coming out, which Chris has it written down somewhere. I don't know if you do or not, but I'm trying to remember the first game that I said was going to be the tough game. I know Chris said this was going to be the toughest game to start off in the first 4. I remember that. That's right. I had them. That's right. I thought the real tough game was going to be KC. I thought KC was going to be the revenge game, and I was like, oh God, I was scared about that game. But it turns out the Eagles actually did kill the dynasty.
Yeah, they were not playing around with that one, and they just were trying to prove their point and said, and while that was more of a worthy Super Bowl game, all I do is win, right?
Yep.
All I do is win. So Mitchell shadowing Egbuka. I would. So I'm just a little worried about Quinion's ability to. He's been a little sloppy on his coverages and his assignments. So that yes, of course, that Mitchell got paid because he had an amazing rookie year. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it was definitely he had a breakout and he got paid on it. Did we overpay? Did we pay too? I don't think we did. I think he got paid correctly, but I need to see more. I need to see him not give up on his assignments and stay with it. So that's probably like Eric said, that is the likely matchup, right? 100%.
Yeah, I would have my best cornerback, my best defender on their best wide receiver. That's what it comes down to. I would just have that. It's like back in the day when you had Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent. You know, who was going to take the number one? I mean, at that point in time, you had two guys capable of being the number one cornerback and just throw them on the number one wide receiver. I mean, that's what I would do. To me, that's going to be a key matchup throughout the game. Quinyon versus Akuba. Or Igbuka, I'm sorry. I said Akuba. I think that's going to be the one. That's going to be the matchup to watch. So that is, excuse me, coming down with something. But yeah, so my other one to watch is I'm interested to see what game we get, what kind of response we get from AJ Brown. Is this the game where they start feeding him early and just letting him loose? Because it seems like every time he does make a comment, whether he's trying to be one way or another about it, it seems like they feed him the ball. Like, did they start off with feeding him the ball? Like the first 3 games of the year, he wasn't doing a lot of talking and they weren't like feeding it to him right away. And now he came out, he had the second half of this past game, he got himself over 100 yards. He had a score. He made his comments after the game where he was just talking and like all hype about the win. Do they feed him and set a tone for this game? That's what I'm really interested in. Because if you can set the tone with AJ Brown, that's just going to open up Saquon Barkley. That's just going to open up the run game. Don't hear you. Yeah, I don't hear you. Oh no. Where'd he go? You lost your voice.
That's never good. There we go. All right.
There you go.
There we go.
I was like, I don't hear you.
That never. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are waiting for that to come through. You've got Tyler obviously waiting. A lot of fantasy people are waiting for that to happen. And let's be honest, so is all of Philadelphia and the front office and the coaches. They are desperately trying to find a way to, unleash the beast there and get some meaningful yardage points and forward progress with him. So yeah, there's definitely got to be a game plan, but don't risk everything at the risk of ignoring AJ and the other guys who have easy assignments this week that should be used not at the sake of just getting yardage to Saquon.
Yeah, absolutely. See, this is also the type of this is like one of those games where I think we're also going to miss Will Shipley. This is one of those games, it's like, because I've been missing him, excuse me, basically all season, but yeah, I was excited for him, and I just really hope that this injury that he has does not really affect him long term. That's the only thing that bothers me. But then again, that's why they went out and got Tank Bigsby. So see what happens with him. This is a guy that's had like 9 starts.
Yeah.
Tank, it's a great name.
Love it.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
He's got starting experience at the running back position. I'm sorry, not 9 starts, 9 touchdowns, from last year. So, he has the starting experience. He's gotten into the end zone. He knows what that tastes like.
Yep.
So, it's like if I want to see them start bringing him in more as like a rotational thing, because if Barkley can't get started, give it to Tank. Maybe he can like roll him over. Who knows?
Yeah, there's so many. This is going to be a great game to watch. I think it's definitely one to go for. And we'll be back next week with the recap of that. And so we both got the Birds winning. And I don't think we're talking as comfortably as we would like it to be, but it's definitely going to be a hot battle. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be a hot battle. So yeah, and it like we've come to see from these games with them, it's what it is now. They're always a dogfight.
Yep. Take us out, Eric. We carried it. We carried this. I don't know what to tell you. Chris, you're fired.
Well, that's awesome. No, it was a good show. It was a real good show. Thank you to everyone that commented. I see. I haven't opened up the chats, but I see we have like 53 comments that were going tonight. So it's like I absolutely love it. I forget the young man's name that we saw earlier. He was commenting a lot. I think his name is Mark Greeley. I think that was his name.
Yeah, we have special big thanks to who do we got? James Greeley.
James.
Yep, James Greeley. Ty Guy. We had Hot Rats in here. SC Ginger. And of course, Chris checking in from the House of God, doing some sort of church thing. I don't know what he did tonight. I'm so shocked. I'm shocked he didn't burn as he crossed through the doorway. Take us home.
All right, man, you got it. Well, everyone, thank you again for watching as all live edition of the Philly podcast presented by the Broken Bell Network. You can catch this show every Wednesday night at 9:00 on the Broken Bell Network YouTube channel, appropriately called Broken Bell Network. Also, check out our other shows, the Hall of Fame podcast, which is every Tuesday night at 9:00. Also on the Broken Bell YouTube page. We have the Orange and Black podcast, hosted by Jamie Baskow with Flyers Nitty Gritty every Friday night. We do have a wrestling podcast, the Off the Top Rope, hosted by Tyrone Asbury. And every now and then we have the Northeast Philly podcast, or affectionately known as the NEP. So keep a lookout. Subscribe to the Broken Bell Network YouTube channel. Click that little bell. Get every update that we have going on. And you can check us out on Spotify. Everything's under the Broken Bell Network. All the shows will be on there. And yeah, man. It's been great, and everyone, thanks for tuning in.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Oh, wait. I was waiting for it to cut out and go right to a clip. I thought I was going to get the Chris treatment.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to change the beat man at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
I'm not sure if the show got cut off at the end. I'm not sure if we're even still live. It still says go live at the bottom. So you guys may be getting a extra part of the show.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. That would be fun. They doesn't Drunk Phil Corner Pub Sports, they do an after pod show. Which who doesn't love? Let's see if we're still live.
So, I think we are. I mean, because
Are we?
the stream is still on.
It sure is. Yeah, that's
I was going to say.
That is crazy. Yeah, we're still live. Can you stop it from your end, guys? You are getting this is comedy gold.
Yeah, I have the end stream, so let's see. Yeah. It says play outro and end stream.
Oh, we already did that. You guys want a second outro?
All right, let's do second outro.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to change the beat man at least.
World
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go. Here we go.
It's always a big.
I would have guaranteed that AJ would be the one that wants to dump it on Sirianni.
Let's see.
And Devontae, and
being
sneak
sneaky.
your way.
Uh-oh. Good move there.
Oh.
Great maneuver.
A little okey doke.
The best shower Nick Sirianni will ever have.
Okay. I guess.
I don't know. It still says on my end stream, and it says live and recording is still ticking.
I love. We are definitely still alive. We could do a third.
Can we just like exit out?
Let's do that.
How does this work?
Let's try it. See ya.
See you, pal. Have a good night.